I was a huge fan of Transformers as a kid, so that's where it all started for me. Like my first introduction was the actual movie, the Transformers movie back in the 80s, and VHS tape. Oh my God, I remember watching it at a friend's house, and I remember just the colors drew me in. But that was like my first real intro to Transformers. And then after that, it was Rise of the Beast, which I want to say was early 2000s that I started to get into it. And I just remember the impact it had on me. It was something new and different. I remember the CGI was different, you know, in terms of a cartoon. And I was kind of like transitioning from my boy phase to my teenage years, so I kind of disappeared for a little bit. And then Michael Bay brought me back with 2007's, you know, Bayverse start of Transformers 1. And that's when I was like, whoa, like what is this? And that's where I really got like enthralled and watched every single movie afterwards. So I'm part of the Bayverse fan club and Nightverse at Bumblebee. When I read the actual script, it was hard to say no. You know, I had like ideas and thoughts that I wanted to implement, characters that I actually love on screen, or at least in the cartoons that I wanted to bring to on screen. And I just started to like, you know, really dive into it. And that's how the Transformers came about. Paramount had asked me, and yeah, they felt like I was probably the right guy for it and had a certain amount of knowledge, but also heart, you know, in terms of like what I want to bring to the table with the characters. So, yeah. Every project that I basically say yes to and or create or get involved with has a piece of me in it. Like if I don't feel that at all, I probably won't do the project. Like I first read the script and I go, there goes the story. Then I go, what do I have to say? And is there me on the table? And if not, how can I incorporate myself? And so I really pull from personal things around me that I'm either going through or transitioning in with life, some part of my childhood, anything with my wife and family. Like I'll incorporate it inside the film and kind of make the film a part of me. And so it becomes very personal. And I think you need that, especially with big films like this, where the scope is so huge and long hours on set, and you could be in post for a year trying to create this. You need that motivation throughout to say, okay, I am saying something. Okay, there is a part of me on this tape. I think people are really going to enjoy this. I want to connect to my audience, and I want them to feel like I left everything out there. And so I have to kind of find those elements that I can bring to every project and every character. Creating the Maximals was a very unique and cool process. Like, again, we've never seen them in live action. You know, we've seen them in some of the actual graphic novels, and we've seen them in a cartoon back in the early 2000s. And there's actually a reboot now that's actually out of the cartoon series. So it was a huge responsibility to introduce the Maximals in this film, make sure that they look the part, make sure that their story makes sense, and make sure that we're introduced to a new faction that falls in line with the DNA of the rest of the Transformers. Optimus Primal is a very noble character, and he's very much connected to the human beings on Earth. He is teaching, if you will, through this journey, a lesson to Optimus Prime, and understanding that there's a bigger fight at play, and we know you're worried about your people on Cybertron, but we have to worry about everybody. And so he's a big, huge, I would say, character and element to Prime becoming the Prime that we're all used to knowing in the Michael Bay films and Transformers 1, 2, 3, and 5. So the Maximals sort of help lift Optimus Prime and to help him become the Optimus that we know today. I think the audience is going to go for a thrill ride in this one. You know, I feel like the audience is not just going to watch the film. I think they're definitely going to experience it. You know, I feel like we spent a lot of time diving into the characters so that they can care about them. So as they're going through this big action sequences, I think they're really going to feel emotionally connected to all the characters in the film. You know, there's humor, there's a little bit of horror, and there's a lot of action. And again, there's a lot of heart. So I feel like you get a little bit of everything when watching Transformers: Rise of the Beast.